You know what it is. You know what we came to do. It's the Sizzle, the brand new Sizzle. It is the NFL playbook. Oh, baby, we've got a lot to give you in a little bit of time, but we're going to give you the best of what we got right now as we talk about the wild card. You know, we're opening up the playbook to talk about the NFL wild card and what's getting ready to happen as the weekend progresses. Look, man, you know who's in the building. Jay Sizzle's in the building. Rich Sizzle's in the building. G Sizzle in the building. You know how we get down. You know what we get ready to do. Every time you hear this beat, you know it's time for the playbook. All right, fellas. So here we are. It's playoff time. Division time. Playoffs. This is for all the marbles. This is for everything. This is the wild card. So look, let me just throw it out there first. We've got 4 divisional games coming up. We've got 2 on Saturday, 2 on Sunday. We've got the Bills and the Texans first, and we've then, following that, you have the Titans and the Patriots. Right behind that on Sunday, you have the Vikings and Saints, Seahawks and Eagles. So, Rich, let's start off with Bills versus Texans. What's your overview and what is your perspective on what's getting ready to happen for the Bills and the Texans as we prepare for Saturday's game?
We are in the playoffs. Let's talk about playoffs. Oh, my goodness. I actually like this matchup because it's really hard to take. You've got a dynamic defense with a not-so-good offense, and then on the other hand, you're playing a team with a really good offense that has not stopped anyone this year pretty much in the air or the ground. Now, what Houston does have coming back is J.J. Watt. We don't know what type of condition he's going to come back from. Relatively speaking, when he comes back, he's a little sluggish, but his presence may make enough of an effect to help Houston with their defensive woes. I'm predicting, being that this game is at Houston, that's going to be a big plus for the Texans as Buffalo has a goal on the road, which is usually difficult in the playoffs in general. It's difficult in football all the way around. But we're going to really see what Deshaun Watson has to offer. He has been in big game matchups before, as we've known in college and things like that. But, hey, we're talking about NFL time. But I don't think it's going to really hit him too much. It's a day game, it's first round matchup, so I like Houston in this game.
Jay, as you're looking at Houston, do they have the firepower? Do they have the offensive weapons to hold suit and to keep up with this game and make it an interesting game?
Oh, they got the firepower, but I think it's going to be a fizzle, my friend. Ooh. I'm looking right now, Deshaun Watson. I think this Texans defense is going to be a little bit suspect with what's coming up. Even though they got, even if J.J. Watt is back, looking good. I'm going to tell you right now, this is an upset waiting to be brewed right here. I'm looking at the Bills going in to the Texans Stadium and getting a win down there. I think Josh Allen's up for it, man. It's his first playoff game. Bills look good. Bills been hot. I think right now this is going to be our first upset right here. Game 1 is going to be the first upset.
Wow, that's a bold sizzle prediction that the Bills are going in and they're going to take care of business. So, hey, if you say it, Jay Sizzle, I'm gonna ride with you. But that's a bold prediction that the Bills will go into the Texans. The 10-6 Bills will go in and beat the 10-6 Texans. Well, let's look at the next game then. If that's the case, then what happens starting with Titans-Patriots? We know that the Titans have had a good season. They have a strong running game. But, Rich, can the Titans go into Foxborough and be victorious this season?
Hey, it's 2020. It's the year of the Mad Dog. Anything's possible. But is it likely? I don't think so. We are talking about a New England defense that was number 1 ranked all year round except for their little mishap last week. But let's also look at it, though. They rested quite a few players trying to get in preparation. They thought they could just squeak by that game and still get a bye. They were disappointed by a Dolphins team that was catching people by surprise at the end of the year. Now, I digress with that. One thing we do know is Tannehill came from the Dolphins. The Patriots are familiar with Tannehill. So this isn't going to be one of them games where Tannehill just comes out of nowhere. and we are talking about Bill Belichick, I do believe that New England will have enough on defense and on offense to make this a comfortable game for them to win.
Okay, so the resident Patriots fan is Jay Sizzle. And Jay, is there any way, and I'm going to just say it that way, is there any way that the Titans beat the incumbent Patriots?
Oh, there's one real big way that the Titans can win this game. One huge way. He's a man, stands about 6'3", about 235 pounds, that just happens to be the NFL rushing leader. I'm looking for a big game out of Mr. Henry. And I'm going to hear it say, I am one of the biggest Patriots fans out there, but that loss to the Dolphins was huge. They don't get that bye. And I think right now they're running into a team with a mission that's on a mission. And I'm taking the Tennessee Titans to beat the New England Patriots.
That is, you know what? That's scary it's scary. It's scary that you've come up with two upsets at the beginning of the playoffs. I don't even know if I don't think I can handle all this. I don't know if I'm ready for the next two questions because I've never seen this side of you.
You're going to give the edge over the Titans. Granted, we're talking about, the Derrick Henry experience, which was phenomenal this year. But you're also talking about a team that allowed less than 100 rushing yards a game all season. You think that he's going to go into Foxborough and just go completely bananas?
Well, we have to look at two things on this, right? I am probably, out of this group, the biggest Tom Brady fan out there. But he hasn't really been Tom terrific this year. He hasn't really been Brady-esque, Jordan-esque. And he's been looking pedestrian. I'm thinking that we're running into a situation right here that Tom Brady, we might be seeing the slide of him right now. It might, at some point in time, it has to come. This offense hasn't been spectacular. And when you have the NFL rushing leader coming at you with this type of things on the line, that they can knock off the New England Patriots, this is huge. This is their Super Bowl right now. So I'm looking to see that the Titans are going to come in and they're going to run Derrick Henry, and we're going to see if the Patriots are up to the test. Because this is just one of these situations right now. This loss to Miami was huge for the Patriots. I really think that was a deflator for them. It's a short turnaround. I don't know if they're going to be really ready to go. And I think this is if there was a time for an upset to happen, against the New England Patriots, against Derrick Henry running up in there, NFL rushing leader, this is the time it's going to happen.
I go back to looking at teams that have good rushing defenses that Derrick Henry played against, and he came up kind of short in some of those games. Tampa Bay, which I compare their defense on the ground to New England, and he only had 75 rushing yards. If you take away the rushing concept with the Titans, and now you're forcing Tannehill to win this game by air against a second corners with the Patriots that both were 1 and 2 in interceptions for the year, I just don't see how this matchup goes well with the Titans in any kind of format and anywhere. I mean, it's offset all the way around. I mean, I agree with you. Tom Brady did not have a Tom Brady year. But they don't need Tom Brady for this game.
We saw a New England Patriot cornerback get torched for 135 yards. I think it 8 receptions on him in this past Miami's loss. So I'm looking at this from this situation. Is this a time where you start seeing, look, everything is always falling right for the Patriots. Everything's always falling right for the Patriots. They've been able to film a little bit over here when they weren't supposed to, take some air out of some balls over here when nobody was looking, allegedly. But at some point in time, when things are getting stacked up, every once in a while in a house of cards, it always doesn't take one card to get full. I'm looking at right now, you're looking at these guys, and they just don't look like a dominant team right now, especially the way they played against Miami. And I don't know, did they just turn it off one game? I mean, because you talk about right. I mean, is that what happened there? Are we looking at...
Yeah, I think so, Jay. I mean, you're talking about they rested quite a few players. Some players didn't even play. So
you have Fitzpatrick throw for 320 yards against this vaunted New England defense. Were they resting guys? But they needed this ball game. my whole thing about this, how are you resting guys and you need this ball game and now you don't have that playoff bye? That just didn't make any sense to me.
Yeah, well, I mean, either way it goes, you knew that your next opponent was going to be the Chiefs. Whether it was with that playoff bye or without that playoff bye, you were playing the Chiefs. And quite honestly, they probably need an extra game to figure out what they're going to do on offense. So I wasn't upset necessarily. I felt like even wrestling players, they should have had enough. But like you said, the Dolphins didn't have nothing to lose. So why not go out there just guns blazing and just, hey, all out, let's just wreak havoc, you know?
That's right.
Which, didn't surprise me in that at all.
That's the sad part. No, we don't look at that because that is where you're saying that the Patriots are over and it's a wrap. So if the Patriots are over and it's a wrap, then you know what happens? They are done, says Jay Sizzle.
Look, man, that pickoff of Tom Brady early in that ball game. That pickoff, and by former Patriot Eric Rowe. Look. You're seeing a lot of stuff, man. It just don't smell right over there. It smells a little bit, in New England, something's not smelling right up there right now.
All right.
There's a lot of stuff that went wrong.
New England has more experience than any other team combined, pretty much, in this wild card. And that's what I'm definitely giving the edge to. I cannot sit here in confidence and say that the Tennessee Titans, where no one pretty much has any playoff experience over there, is going to come in against a veteran playoff team and just smack them in the mouth at home. Nah, that's not going to happen. Come on now. Let's wake up from drinking that, celebratory 2020 alcohol and get to realization here.
Well, we have some realization. It's called they're down. Man down, hand down, they're down. But you know what's coming up after that? Then the Sunday games. We've got the Vikings at the Saints. So, Rich.
Licking their wounds on the French quarters Monday morning, just waiting on their plane ticket back out of there. And no disrespect to the Vikings. I'm just not. I think they had a great year. It's just New Orleans had a better year. And had it been not for some technicalities here and there, they would have had a first round bye. But it was a lot more competitive NFC season than what people expected. So, no, I don't think Minnesota stands a chance, to be honest with you. Drew Brees is in a zone with his offensive weapons. Kamara has struggled, but he can still get it done on the ground. And their defense they weren't slacking either, for the most part. So, yeah, and the New Orleans, that Superdome is just something else. I mean, granted, we talk about Minnesota, they're used to playing in the dome as well, but from what I've heard as far as noise-wise and everything else like that is just a whole nother experience.
Jay, can Michael Thomas come in and be the king of the field against the Vikings defense on Saturday?
Look, he's going to be king of the field. He's going to be prince of the field, archduke, whatever else you want to call this guy. Look, the Saints are going to put it to the Vikings. I think, look, they got screwed. They got screwed this last week again, another non-call. And now you're looking at a team who is going to be upset. They cruised to that 42-10 win. I think this is going to be an epic beatdown early. Just epic. And Drew Brees might be sitting out the second half. So this is going to be over. This is going to be over and done quick because now the New Orleans Saints, they felt they got jobbed a year or so ago, and they got jobbed again just a few days ago. And so this is a team now who doesn't want to leave anything to chance, and they're going to go out here and put it to these lowly Vikings. Wow,
I hear that the Vikings are going to be losers, and there's nothing they can do about it. I can't even imagine. Yeah, I can. The Vikings, I don't think will be able to really go in and make any noise. But the game to me that's going to be the most interesting, Seattle at the Eagles. I don't know what to really make of this game. Rich, what do I make of Seattle right now? especially in terms of coming against the Eagles defense? Are they the team that we think they are, or are they somewhere in the middle?
Look, Seattle with against Philadelphia's defense, and we know all year round Philadelphia's defense has been susceptible to large plays, something that Russell Wilson seems to do very well, connect 20, 30 yards out with his receivers, who for the most part are healthy, minus Josh Gordon, who won't be there. But, never mind. Won't go there. But, yeah, so the only question that we're going to have is what kind of run game they're going to have. Now, Philadelphia did pretty good establishing a run defense, but like I said, what they did not do very well is defend against the pass, and that is where Russell Wilson's going to tear Philadelphia apart. And on the other side of that ball, Carson Wentz has looked the best he has all year, but he just does not have any help moving forward to get past this Seattle team. You look at the teams that Philadelphia has played these last few games, Carson Wentz has won them himself, but he's also won it against lesser than worthy opponents, Dallas included. Seattle is not one of them less worthy opponents. The home team is usually favored, but it's not going to be Philadelphia. It's definitely going to be Seattle. And I'm like you with the game before. I don't see Russell Wilson playing the rest of the game out. He'll probably be resting in the fourth quarter.
With that as a given, Jay Sizzle, do the Seahawks have enough as running? Because their leading rushers are now on IR. They're injured. They have running back by committee, and I don't know what committee they have actually brought in for runners. So do they have enough in the run game with adding Marshawn Lynch to be able to be victorious Saturday evening?
My biggest problem right now is how much are you going to lean on Marshawn Lynch? Marshawn Lynch, I don't know what he was doing at the end of that ball game. I don't know if he was eating Skittles. I don't know what was happening, but he wasn't ready to go in that 2-minute drive. And when they needed Marshawn Lynch to get into the ball game, he had on his baseball cap like he was going to be playing for the Mariners or somebody. Look, can you, so as great as beast mode is, can you rely on sticking the ball into his belly 20 to 25 times a game going into this? Because right now, if you make Russell Wilson one-dimensional, that's what I'm worried about. They're going to have to run the football. Can you give it to Marshawn Lynch? He was over 400 days where he hadn't played. He did get a touchdown. But at the end of the ball game, he wasn't ready to go. I don't know if that was Marshawn Lynch not having to run through the 2-minute drill. I don't know if that was a coaching problem, or was Marshawn Lynch just sort of checked out. I don't know, but can we give him the ball 20? Can he give us 80-plus yards? Can they control the clock with Marshawn Lynch? Look, I will pick Seattle all day long in this ball game. I'm just sort of concerned about their run game right now. And is Marshawn Lynch beast mode, or is it just going to be a situation where it's just going to be a beast to get him over 50 yards of offense in this ball game?
That's a good question. And Rich, you brought up something that was really important. As we look at the fantasy line and you're looking at making your fantasy wagers and you're going against the spread or you're looking at the spread, with the Bills, you have over under 43 point. The Tennessee Titans and the Patriots is over under 44. The Vikings and the Saints over under 49.5, and the Seahawks and Eagles is a 45.5 over under. When you look at your wagering line, where is your value as far as the teams that you would be picking up for your wager, and who are your fantasy keys as we go through this divisional round? As
far as values, I think John Brown from Buffalo is a value. Again, we're talking about Houston's defense that has been exploited, kind of like what Philadelphia's defense has done. So eventually somebody's got to air the ball out with Buffalo and Houston. And I'm going to go with the recipient of the team who doesn't have the best cornerback. So if you're looking for a sneak pickup and wide receiver value, you go there, and you should be, if you're in a PPR style format, which FanDuel is, you'll at least get those points there. He's gonna get reception, put it like that. I'm not sold on Derrick Henry in the matchup with New England. That defense is solid. And I don't know how I feel about that spread either. I don't believe it's going to be that high scoring of a game, even though, I mean, we're only talking about maybe like 25-24 would be the point round. New England has done a good job establishing against offensive teams that think they're going to do something and they wind up not doing it. Like I said, they had a lot of players rested last week. They're not going to be rested this week going forward. As far as going against the spread, New Orleans and Minnesota, go for it on the other hand, because there is going to be some scoring in that game. So if you've got players that you've got to fill in and fill around, Drew Brees is not a bad look. I haven't really looked at what his point spread is going to be. He'll probably be the highest rated quarterback moving forward. But your next best pick for the money will be Russell Wilson, because like I said again, and like we pointed out, their run game is going to be suspect. Marshawn Lynch hasn't ran. We're thinking about beast mode of back in the 1900s when Marshawn Lynch was fully healthy and fully rested, and when Skittles had a good effect on him. Now, I mean, he may have had one too many Skittles trying to go in and play. So your better bet on that would be for Russell Wilson, because he's going to have to do it on the ground, and then his counterpart with Tyler Lockett, because he's their favorite guy to go for in the air. Also with that, Goddard from Philadelphia with the tight end would be my pick, because that's pretty much all Carson Wentz has to throw to right now. Anybody else, I can't even tell you who that is. I mean, it might be thrown to my nephew somewhere who I don't even know is related to me. They just found him because they said he's tall and lanky and said, hey, go out there and catch for me at this point of what Philadelphia's got. So, yeah, those would be my solid picks going on around with the spread. If you're looking for a defense, that one's going to be a tough one, because most of these defenses are going to be rated kind of high. But given that the one I would say with the most room for error would be New England, because I do think that at some point in the game, Tennessee is going to have to start throwing, and that's where you're susceptible for sacks and interceptions, which New England has done very well this year. So I know they're going to be pricey, but that would be the defense that I would pick.
Okay. Really good information. Really good defenses on all sides. I think this divisional round, you've got really good defenses as it spreads out with each of the teams, ones that are able to get them into position to win, and could be the difference as far as making these games something special and moving them forward. So, look, man, I mean, we've covered everything and we've gone over it quickly. So, it's just one of those things now where we've got to see how these games play out and see how everything kind of works. Look, we're getting ready to sign off. We wanted to just reach out to you. Make sure that you're following us on Facebook. Make sure that you're getting with us on Twitter, that you're also liking us and following our podcast wherever you can find us. The Sizzle, the Talk of the 219. That's the tag name. That's the hash name. That's whatever you want to do. That's where you find us. Hey, Rich Sizzle, give us something that we can leave with the people. Give me something good to leave the people with.
Well, I have to give tribute right now to David Stern. I know we're talking about football, but David Stern passed away yesterday, I believe it was. And I don't think people really take into consideration what kind of impact he had, not just with the NBA, just with sports in general.
Right.
When you talk about, having the GOAT conversations and things like that, he elevated sports in general by elevating the NBA for everybody else to kind of take heed and do the same. I mean, he was really, in my opinion, the patriarch of all sports in general, from what I would opinion. So I really have to give tribute to him. I mean, it really hit me somewhere, kind of tight, but I mean, that's just where I am with him. So
I feel you, and much love, and our condolences go out to the Stern family at this time of their bereavement. Jay Sizzle, leave the people with something.
I got two quick things. First, the Bears have a double doink going on again. They fired all the wrong coaches, and they're going to keep the wrong quarterback. And number two, we didn't get my pick for the Eagles-Seahawks game, and I'm taking the Eagles to beat the Seahawks. That's it. Book it. That's my 5-star pick.
All right, so you got the 5-star pick in. You've got Jay Sizzle. You've got Rich Sizzle. You know what it is. It's the Sizzle right here on the podcast version. This is the playbook as we open up the divisional round. Listen, it's going to be great time, great fun. Listen, we're looking forward to it, and we'll see you on the next podcast of the Sizzle. We are the talk of the 219.
You